Well, I go to my own execution and accept your invitation and sit down and say, "How you doing? I'm here
to fight.
Shoot me."
Right.
Shoot me. Shoot the poison in my veins. Lynch me. Go right ahead. I'm here. Matter of fact, let me put the rope around my neck and y'all go ahead and lynch me.
Well, Roland, I don't disagree with you, but you know I'm going to get lawyerly on you now. If they don't have the numbers and they sat out one session, what's a win look like and what's the pathway to winning? That's where I get lost on this because they've got constituents that they got to serve. Okay, tell me about that, because from the messaging, that's what's really missing. They could do this for a year, 2 years, but if you don't have the numbers, you don't have the numbers. So what does a winning fight look like?
Okay, let me walk you through. So one of the state reps, he said this here. He said 51 House Dems could resign. He said what that means is the governor literally could not call. The governor he cannot appoint 51 replacements. There would have to be 51 special elections. And you have laws in terms of when those elections would have to be, how long they would have to be. He said, so that was an option. He said, we haven't fully explored that. That's one. Two, in talking with them, there was some of the lawyers were saying, well, you know, they could have pushed this thing to May because the legislature could always change the date to qualify for the election. Here's what we know. Now, Grant, let's be real clear. The Supreme Court could do whatever they want to do, but the Supreme Court has a certain precedent, and I guess is it Purcell? Is that what it is? And so typically what happens? I don't know. Okay, so the Supreme Court has a standard that they use where they sort of lock maps in place. So what they often say is that even if a map has been ruled unconstitutional by a federal judge, they've said in the past, it's happened in Alabama and Louisiana, that, hey, voters have to have enough time to be able to choose their candidates. Candidates have to be able to hit the filing deadline to run. So therefore, we will lock the maps in place because there's not enough time. So let's take Louisiana. A couple of years ago, Louisiana passed their maps, and it was like February they passed the maps. Well, the Louisiana primary wasn't even until August. Supreme Court went, no, got to lock them in place. So there are people like me, and there are other lawyers who said, so the filing deadline, the deadline to file to run for the congressional seats in 26 is December. So there are many others who said, hey, if you hold out until December, not May, until December, then all of a sudden that Supreme Court precedent comes into play, and then the Supreme Court, based upon previous rulings, would say, hey, wait a minute, Texas, you can't come in and change a map in January, February, because the primary is in March and the general is in November, even though Texas could always move the primary. So those are a couple of the options there.
Yeah. The
problem is you got weak-ass Democrats. No, we can't hold out. No, we can't hold out.
Okay, but why not come back? If you're going to, this is the problem I have.
Go ahead.
That you haven't talked about. Why not come back, give them the quorum, let them vote, and then litigate the appropriateness
you can do that.
The ability to do it.
No, hold on. You can no, and that is what their strategy is. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. Right now, the 2021 map, the existing map, is being litigated right now. It's 2025. So the problem is, I want you to follow me here. So the problem is, if you go for that legal strategy, they likely will have the proposed maps that get rid of 5 Democratic districts, that 2 of those 5, 2 are black districts. Those will likely be the maps for 26 and 28.
Yeah, but what if you ask for emergency relief or equitable relief at a TRO or injunctive relief that stays everything.
Scott,
gives you the status quo.
and here's what happens: appeal, stay the injunction. Okay, we've been through this. We've been through this in Alabama.
I got you.
We've been through this in Louisiana. In fact, the courts, when Louisiana passed their maps, the courts ruled, oh, this is unconstitutional. This is denying black people an opportunity. And the Republicans appealed, and then another court agreed. Oh, they got somebody else to agree. Then here's what's so crazy. In Louisiana, it went to the Supreme Court of Congo. The Supreme Court agreed it was unconstitutional, sent it back. The Fifth Circuit tried to circumvent it. Then the Republicans tried to get it back to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court wouldn't hear it. The map stayed in place. Cleo Fields was elected in 2024. Now the same Republicans are going back to the Supreme Court, and now now they're using another legal argument, and now the Supreme Court has asked for not pleadings. They've asked for documents, whatever y'all want to call it. Briefings. Explaining why coalition districts could be unconstitutional. So now you have the civil rights groups who are like, oh shit, they could literally rule coalition districts unconstitutional. That could wipe out half of the 60 Congressional Black Caucus members. Congo, Republicans, they're going to try to have 19 bites at the apple. So the only guaranteed way to ensure these maps do not get passed if you don't give them a quorum.
Wow. I mean, this is another example of how relentless Republicans are. They are nonstop, whether we're talking abortion, whether anything, they are nonstop, and they are going to pursue every legal and illegal means possible to keep power. Democrats want to talk about sharing and voting and everything. These guys only care about power. And, there's that meeting going on at the White House with Trump and all these leaders. The only other people who are happy this is happening are these Texas Democrats, because they are not the center of the news story today. And Gene Wu, they put out this letter talking about they did this and acting like they were like freaking Nelson Mandela or something, returning home after such a long incarceration or something. They caved in 2 weeks. And like Representative Jolanda Jones was saying, she wished that she knew. I wish that we knew. The way that we were cheering them on and saying, this is finally Democrats standing up and all of this. And they were like, oh, no, we just kidding. We were just trying to get everybody else's attention. We were just trying to get Gavin Newsom and others stacked up. This is cowardly, man. And I know for many of us, it's deflating. It's deflating. Like, we were really looking forward to this, to supporting them, sponsoring them, donating and the like. And they just do this. And as Representative Jones said, it's not even exactly 2 weeks. I don't know where Texas is going right now, but we know where it's going, but where the rest of the Democratic Party is going as it relates to this, I don't know, man, because when you say like black folks in Texas are like, well, why should we even, fight or vote or anything? I think a lot of us are saying that across the country right now, and maybe Gavin Newsom will prevail in November. Maybe some of these other states will, but this is a serious setback, not only for the Democratic Party, but for the country, man, and it sucks.
So check this out, Scott. Check this out. This literally just came down earlier today. Go to my iPad. Federal Appeals Court blocks Louisiana's new congressional map and blow the GOP. Now this is on Fox News. Judge said Louisiana's congressional redistricting map amounts to an illegal racial gerrymander. Okay, now mind you, we had already covered this territory, Scott. Judges for the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals rejected Louisiana's request to allow it to enforce its long-stalled congressional redistricting map, delivering a near-term blow to Republicans in the state by ruling that it amounts to an unconstitutional racial gerrymander. All three judges on the bench voted to uphold a lower court's ruling at the map in question, originally passed by Louisiana's Republican majority legislature in 2022, violates Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, They also affirmed the district court's ruling that the map in question violates Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act by packing black voters into a small number of majority black districts and cracking other black communities across multiple districts, thereby depriving them of the opportunity to form effective voting blocks. Now, Scott, what we're seeing right here, this is what, I'm gonna pull Zabora in a second for us. Go ahead and pull up as well. What we're seeing right here is that this is the Fifth Circuit. Now, let's be real clear. The Fifth Circuit is the most hardcore right-wing circuit in America.
Yeah.
Scott, they were ruling on a 2022 map. This 2025. So you know what's going to happen? The Republicans are going to appeal this to the Supreme Court. So the Supreme Court may not rule on this until 2026. Or the Supreme Court will say, hey, keep the current map. See, again, remember why I kept trying to explain to Texas? The courts could say, hold up, lock the existing map in. They may not rule until 27, now affects 28. So that's why the Democrats, the most guaranteed way not to have the maps passed, if your ass don't show up.
Yeah, I got you, Roland. But let me ask you this. Now you're not gonna like this argument, but there are other duties and responsibilities these Democratic legislators have, serving their constituencies.
You got staff.
Dealing with the.
That's why you got staff.
No, hear me out. Hear me out. I know that's why you got staff, right? But you got to admit, at least, that that's pulling on the Democratic.
No, that's bullshit. No, that's no. First of all, let me be as.
There is other business.
Hold up. Let me be real clear.
Aren't you abdicating your responsibility?
Nope, you're not.
Stand away from the position.
Nope, you're not.
What do you say to those?
Nope, you're not. Easy. What I say to those people.
What do you say to that?
Easy. What I say to those people, and y'all don't want me to cuss. I'm trying not to cuss, so I'm gonna give y'all five. I'm gonna give y'all 10 seconds. I'm gonna give y'all 10 seconds to turn your TV down.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
7, 6.
Here we go.
5.
Where's the FCC when you need
3. FCC doesn't regulate internet. They only regulate licensed broadcasting.
I said that's when you need.
So the FCC does not regulate cable TV or internet. They only regulate broadcast licenses. 3, 2, 1. Fuck they heartstrings.
Oh God.
Let me be real clear. Let me be perfectly clear.
You have flood victims.
No. Well, guess what? The Republicans should have put the flood victims first on. The Republicans have told us, Zabor, what their priorities are. Their priorities, and the Republicans said, we don't give a damn if 130 people died in them floods. That shit ain't important. We're going to do these maps first. That's what it's about, and this is why you have to stop it. Zabor, when you're in a battle, when you're in a fight, you empty your clip. What you don't do is fire 2 of your 24 bullets and then say, all right, I'm going to hand you the gun. Let's go on here and we'll go back.
You don't do that at all. It doesn't make sense. This has been what we do in Texas, though. We're not taking on the power that we have as Democrats. We're running from it. We're being cowardly. And we're not standing in our power as Democrats. At the end of the day, when there was Hurricane Harvey and all of these other situations where Black individuals were impacted by natural disasters, they didn't make them a priority, and they showed it again now. They never make those natural disasters a priority. So I think it's really important that we focus on what can we do now. Clearly, our Democratic representatives are scary and are not going to do what they need to do to protect us. So we have to show up, keep applying pressure, make sure that these maps are not impacting us any more than they already have to. I think there's no way for us to get around the decisions that they continue to make to not hold the Republican Party responsible for the actions that they keep having.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.